Hello everybody, Sticky here, and today I'm bringing you a Utah versus Allo guide. Now, Allos still remain very dangerous for Utahs, mainly because of their very large hitbox, their ambush speed, and of course the fact that one bite will bleed you out in 22 seconds. So let's go over the stats. So for Utah to kill an Allo, you will take 8 bites. So 8 bites in more or less quick succession, it will bleed out the Allo. Now, if the Allo sprints around constantly, it's only going to be 6 bites that you need. But just to be safe, you're going to need 8, and even if it's standing, it's going to bleed out. Now, if you get those bites in slowly, let's say once every 20 seconds, you might need more than that because the Yellow will heal off the bleed from first bite, and then they start re-healing their HP, hit points, and then because of that, you're gonna need more bites than 8. But if it's more or less like every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds maybe, then just 8 bites will bleed it out. Now for the Ello to kill the Utah, it's just gonna be 2 bites or 1 bite and 22 seconds sprint time. So if you get bit by an Allo, you have 22 seconds to run away, try to hide, and sit down. If you don't sit down in 22 seconds, you will bleed out. If you're sitting, however, you're not gonna bleed out. Now, the Allo ambush speed is something that most users forget. So the Ello is gonna crouch, and if you don't have your own ambush speed and you come too close, I'll go ahead and crouch if you want to. And if you come too close and you don't pay attention to the fact that it's got ambush speed up, it's gonna chase you down and it's gonna kill you. You can show me right now. You can chase me. It is faster than your sprint. You can see it's catching up to me. So that's something most users forget, is the ambush speed. If Allo has the ambush speed, you either need to create a little bit distance or get your ambush speed up, just like that. Now, the huge advantage that the Utah has is obviously the turning radius. So if an Allo turns, go ahead and just run in it. Yeah. The Utah is always going to outturn the Allo, run or walk, whichever you want to. Just like that. So that's a big advantage. That once you're behind the Allo can't really shake you unless you make a mistake. Now this is going to take some practice to do, but eventually this is where you want to be. You want to be behind the Allo. The second advantage that a Utah has is obviously the jump. If you jump over the Allo correctly, he will not reach you, even if it's looking up, unlike the Rex or Giga, for example, who can look up and bite you. With the Allo, you can just simply jump over it. Now, how to get the bites in? There's a couple ways to get the bites in. Let's go over the first one. So go ahead and crouch. If the Allo is crouched, you can get the bite all the way on the tip of the tail. Yep. So that's one way to get it. If Allo crouches, you can stay so far back. Well, actually, yeah. We'll go over the bites and then we'll go over the hitbox of the Allo. So, number one, if it's crouched, you can get the bite in all the way at the tip of the tail. Now, if it's not crouched, you can still get the bite in on the tip of the tail. Go ahead and yep. But it's gonna be much rare. It's gonna be like 1 out of 10 because the way that the tail moves, if you're watching it, it's moving up and down, and when it bites, it also moves up and down. So you're not gonna get every bite in. Yep, just like that. So some bites you're gonna miss, some bites you're gonna land. Just like that. Now, the second one is riding. Now, to ride an Allo, there's a very specific position you need to be in. If you're just riding it like normally people ride somewhere behind the butt, that's not gonna work because you're gonna be inside the Allo's hitbox. Allo has a huge hitbox. Go ahead and circle. If you're just doing this, watch my own tail. My own tail is now inside the hitbox of the Allo. If I'm gonna be just sitting on the butt of the Allo. And the Ello, if it's biting, it's gonna hit you. So the correct position would be, go ahead and stop. To ride the Ello, your own face, your head, has to be all the way in the opposite thigh of where it's turning. So if it's turning left, your thigh is going to be all the way inside the thigh, just like this. You can spam bites now. And if it turns right, you switch to the other leg. Same way, all the way inside the thigh. Now that's the proper way to ride it. If you don't ride it like this, if you're going to be too far behind, go ahead, keep turning. If you're going to lag too far behind the thigh, like that, right now my head is way outside the thigh, my own tail is inside the head box. Go ahead and bite just once. And bite once in a while, so I don't get double bit. Come on, headbugs. When you need to get bit, you don't get bit. Yep, there you go. So I was actually all the way at the middle of the tail and I got bit. So again, to properly ride the Ello, your head has to be inside the thigh, just like this. If it's turning left, it's in the right thigh. If it's turning right, it's going to be in the left thigh. And it's very easy to switch between the two, so go ahead and turn left, right, whichever way you want. And you can spam bites. Just like that. Yep. I exited outside the thing got hit. Alright, now the last way to get the bites in, so we covered, well actually there's two more ways. So second to last would be, if you're in a pack of Utahs, what you can do is you can run from behind, all the way from behind, directly from behind. If the Ello starts turning left or right, if it's going to be at 90 degrees when you come in, then you need to simply jump over it. But if you have perfect angle directly from behind, you can start the bite at the tip of the tail and then jump in the middle of the tail and jump over their head and keep running. Now remember, if they have ambush speed, you need to get your own ambush speed for that. If it's just standing, then you can just sprint. But either way, you're gonna start the bite at the tip of the tail and jump at the middle of the tail. Let me demonstrate. Just like that. Do one more time. So you start the bite before you jump, and you jump in the middle of the tail. That one didn't register, and that's okay. If some bites don't register, don't worry about it, because you don't wanna... Well, I was on the side. But this is the basic mechanic you do. And now again, just because the bites don't register, there you go, one register. Just because the bites don't register, don't let it, take over your mind, because you wanna be focused on proper way to enter and exit so you don't get bit, rather than precision of the every bite. If you try to go for every single bite, you're eventually gonna make a mistake because you're focusing on the bites rather than your own safety. And with something like an Allo, it's very dangerous to Utahs. One bite and it's gonna chase you down. You have 20 seconds. But even running away, if the Allo sees that you're running away bleeding, it's just gonna chase you down and kill you. All right. So that's number 3. Jump or bite and then jump over it. And the last one This one is the hardest to execute. Go ahead and turn in the circle, left, right, whichever way you want. This would be called a tail right, which means you're going to be outside the tail, right about here, facing the Ello, and spamming bites just like this. And about 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 10 will land. But the reason for this one is why you want to stay this far out is because the Allo hitbox, which we'll cover in a second. But you want to stay outside the tail. If you're inside the tail, you're gonna get hit. Go ahead and start biting, and I'll be inside the tail just to show people that you're gonna get hit all the way over here. There you go. Let me heal. Let's do that again. Inside the tail. There you go. If you're gonna be inside the tail, you're gonna get hit. Go ahead and turn left again. Alright. So you wanna stay outside the tail and just spam the bites. Now if the Allo is biting, the tail is gonna be moving up and down. There you go. One landed finally. Too slow. Keep spamming your bites. Yep. Let's slow down too much. So this one's hardest to execute, and I don't recommend it because just like you saw, step or slow down a little too much, and the Ello was able to, or my tail was inside the hitbox, and I got hit. So the Ello hitbox, go ahead and stop, is gonna reach all the way somewhere over here when it's turning left or right. So your only safe approach to the Ello would be directly from behind, under the tail, and into their butt, thigh, whatever you want to call it. Because again, the Ello hitbox literally will hit you all the way on a side back here, even where, like, I want to say even this far on the side left, it will hit you.
There's a juvie Utah here.
Okay. Now there's one more thing that you need to remember. If you make a mistake and the Ello with the ambush speed is running after you, the only thing that's gonna save you at that point is jumping straight up. So go ahead and chase me. So let it get close, simply stop and jump. That will be the only thing that will save you if the Ello has ambush speed and you don't, and it's that close to you. Otherwise you will get hit again, and you will die. Even getting hit once, the Ello is gonna chase you down and kill you, and you're gonna bleed out. So that's one trick you gotta remember, is if that happens, if they have ambush speed and you came too close and you forgot about it, you need to stop and then jump. And because the Ello has a slide, it doesn't stop instantly the way that Utah does. Like, it runs, and then when they stop running, they still run forward a little bit. So even if they're gonna see it, now the idea is you want to make sure that you let the Ello get close. If you're too far away, it's chasing you, and it's too far, and then you jump and stop and jump, it's too early, and it's gonna be able to bite you on the way down, or it's gonna stop and bite you because it's seen you, jumping so far away. So you want to let the Ello get this close. Go ahead and chase me. You want to let it get this close, and then you're gonna stop and jump, just like that. And that's gonna be the only thing that saves you if you make that mistake. Another thing you can do is if you're facing it and it ambushes at you. In that case, you don't have time to turn around and simply jump over it, turn around, and just follow it around as it ambush or sprints around with the ambush speed. Now the reason to follow it is if you jump over it and it has ambush speed, it might simply turn around and still chase you down. So what you want to do is go ahead and crouch. So if it's facing you, starts running at you, jump over it, and then turn around and follow it so that it can't turn around and chase you down with the ambush speed. Alright. Now, as a pack of Utahs, if there's 2 or 3 or more of you, you want to circle the Allo, stay close. If it's got ambush speed, get your own ambush speed. And you're simply going to go for bites, jumping over it. So if it gets distracted by another teammate, you're going to run in from behind, bite and then jump. I did the other way around, I jumped in a bit, missed the bite because of that. So that's basically what you're going to do as a pack. You're constantly going to circle around it. Whenever it looks away, just like that. And then 8 bites is all you need, so count your bites. 8 bites in, just let it sit, let it bleed out. Now if the bites come in very slowly, if you're inexperienced and you're taking your time or you want to play it safe, and the bites come in slowly, then go for maybe 10 bites, maybe 11 bites, depending how slow it is. So that's what you do as a pack. You constantly circle it, whenever it turns away from you. Now, as you run in, go ahead and turn around. Now when I run in, turn towards me. So if you're running at it, no, go ahead, stop for a second. So if you're running at it and it starts turning towards you, simply jump over it, don't go for the bite. Simply jump over it and try again later. The reason for that is, again, the huge hitbox. If you're gonna run at it from the side like this, you can get hit, and you don't want to risk that. So in that case, simply jump over it. Go ahead, turn away from me, and then once I run in, turn towards me. So like I have the perfect angle, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run for a bite, but then it starts turning towards me. In that case, I'm simply gonna jump over it. I'm not even gonna risk it. So abuse your jumps, there's nothing the Ello can do about it. Now, in a 1v1 situation, Utah versus Allo, it's still very doable. The Utah has all the advantages, but Ello is still very, very dangerous, and I don't recommend trying 1v1s unless you practice against Ellos at least 10-15 hours. And it's crucial that you get your jumps precisely. Like, if you jump too early, you're gonna land into the Ello's mouth. So it's important that you practice your jumps, distances, the hills, etc., etc., so that you land behind the Ello, not into their mouth. And then not too far behind them either, because if you're too far behind them, that gives them time to turn around before you can, just like that. So 2 ways to get the bites in a 1v1 is the easier one. I mean, neither one is easy, but the easier one would be to jump over it, turn around, and start riding it into the thigh, just like that, for 8 bites. Once you got the 8 bites in, disengage whichever way the Ello is turning away from, just like this, and then let it bleed out. Now the second way is much harder, and I don't recommend doing this unless your jumps are on point. And this one is, when you jump, you can get the bite in just like that without the Ello biting you, but you can land the bite as you land behind them. And then you can do it again, disengage, turn towards it, and again same thing. But this requires a lot of precision, so I don't recommend doing this unless you're very, very good with your jumps. It's just a little mistake, jumping a little too early, just like here, and I would have got bit. So, and you need to land somewhere over here. Go ahead and face me again. That was perfect. So that's the second way to get the bites in, but again, a lot of practice before you can do that. Now let's see if we can demonstrate a fight. Now I have to kill it before I bleed out. Whew, that was way too close. So my mistake was I stepped too far away from the thigh and I got hit by the side hitbox. And that's why you need to be in the thigh and you need to practice this a lot before you attempt it. If you step a little bit to the side or behind the butt, you can get hit. So it's important that your head stays all the way into the thigh. Whew, that was dangerous. Let's try the second one where I jump and get the bites in on the way down. Missed. No, it's got the ambush speed up, so I gotta stay away. One. Two. Well, the reason I walk away so far is so I can get my ambush speed up so they don't chase me down with their own. Just like that. Four. Five. And I'm almost out of stamina. Another reason it's so dangerous. But that's basically showing you how you can get the bites in jumping over it. Hope this has been helpful. Again, Allos is a very dangerous dino to fight. Huge hitboxes. They're pretty quick. I don't recommend doing it. especially 1v1, unless you practice a lot. And even as packs, you want to practice the right mechanics. You don't want to just run in and try to kill them without actually knowing how to, because those hitboxes will get you. And everybody says broken hitboxes, but that's kind of true. You need to know exactly where you need to be, or you will get hit. And I hope this has been helpful. See you guys later. Bye.